Hey everyone, this is Troy from Goober Prints. You are watching Let's Talk Local from 216 Creative Studios. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe.
What's up, everybody? Your boy Cappuccino is here on another great episode of Let's Talk Local. Listen, if you like what you see here today, make sure to go to the Google box there, YouTube, 216 Creator Studios, live tab, like, share, subscribe, and ding that bell. Almost forgot what I was going to say, Jake. So, hey, listen, today we have Jake Colaizzi in the house. He is Colaizzi Renovations.
Yeah.
Young man, really good at what he does. When I met him, it was interesting because we met at the home show,
right off of Crystal Lake.
Right off of Crystal Lake there. And he approached me and he was like, hey, listen, I want to show you the work that we do. He showed me his website, some of the feedback that I got from some of the people that worked with him. I mean, listen, if you're looking to get something done in your house, this is the kid to go to. I say kid, sorry, because I'm
younger guy. I get it.
A little bit older than you. But so I definitely would like to dig deep a little bit.
Yeah.
So Jake, just kind of diving right in. What triggered you? What gave you the passion to get into the construction business?
Yeah. So when I was actually 16, I started off by doing hard labor and whatnot. I mean, I did everything from hardwood flooring to drywall, painting, any kind of carpentry, even tiling. I can say tiling, I was not a fan.
You were the go-to kid for everything?
Yeah. Almost like everybody. My neighbors asked me, "Can you help me out?" So I kind of had the passion for it for a while, and really, I was just like, you know what? I really, really, really want to start my own company, and this was for years and years. And eventually, Colaizzi Renovations was born, and it's just been great ever since. I mean, every new company, it's always a learning curve, but I've had some great clients, and I've been grateful ever since.
Yeah. So you've gotten your hands dirty in the industry, and you did a piece of everything. And growing up, it was always I was a jack of all trades, master of none. And
sometimes that's the best way to go.
Well, I went from culinary to podcasting, and from hospitality, so it's a whole different world.
Right.
But I loved the fact that you can learn as much as you can possibly learn in a lifetime, no matter what it is. And so some of the big things that you deal with, what's your go-to? What is the big thing that people reach out and say, hey, I need this done?
Yeah, so I mean during the summer, it's typically decks. They do a lot of windows, doors, interior, exterior doors. But in the colder months or even late fall, early spring too, you get a lot of kitchens. You'll get a lot of people doing just interior painting, crown molding, trim work, bathrooms. So I mean those are pretty much our bread and butter.
Gotcha.
We're just now starting to get a little bit more into the commercial space. So we're working with industrial, areas, hospitals, different stuff like that.
Office build outs.
Yeah, exactly. So we're doing a lot of their carpentry, flooring, whatnot. Great area to be in because again, residential, you're going to have slow times.
Yep.
You really are. So commercial is a great option to go to.
Nice.
Definitely. So it's good, and it's also good because customers like to see that you have a very wide portfolio. Like, can I trust this guy? Does he know what he's doing? Have you done this, and that before? So it's always good to have an answer like, hey, I have done this, and be honest if you haven't. Right. You're going to run into new situations every single day, all the time.
So siding?
Yeah. So we've gotten a little bit into siding. I try staying more away from it. I do love siding, though.
Yeah.
I do love siding, but we do siding. But as far as that goes, it's probably like the extent of what we'll
I
do.
gotcha.
So yeah,
Do you like to play more indoors or outdoors?
I like both, man. I love doing decks. I really do.
Yeah.
They're fun to be on. My guy Fernando, he's my main guy. He is great carpenter. We'll do deck build outs, 2 stories, and it's just awesome. So I love playing outside. I love playing inside. I mean, really, I don't have a spot that I'm like, I need this, I need that. I love it all. You have to love it all. If you do it all, you gotta love it all.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's still a JOB, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, they call it happy fun time, and everybody can do it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even think of it like a job. I'm like, of course it is, but if you love what you do, people say you never work a day in your life, and you really have to love what you do because that way, I get to connect with people, build relationships. I get to educate them and educate myself because I'm still learning. Yeah. I'm learning every day as we all are.
Oh, I love that.
So I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm 100 years old. Still be learning something.
Yes,
so
yes. I agree.
There's always a new situation with every client, every customer. So it's nice to see, that they're surprised, obviously, when the project's finished. Look on their face like, oh my God, I love this. That's always something that I really look forward to. So it's awesome.
What are some of the nightmares that you've walked into?
Yeah, so
I mean, you don't have to throw out names.
No, definitely not. I mean, I've walked into a couple of different commercial jobs where they tore up all the flooring, and it was on the 2nd story, so the plywood was all dry rotted, and I had somebody who put new flooring over it. Another crew, not my company, but another company put new flooring over it, and there was a water leak in the building years ago, dry rotted everywhere. Oh. So the floorboards, right when they butted up against the joists, everywhere it was creaky. I mean, you felt like you were going to fall through.
Yeah.
So clearly they didn't get their permitting. They didn't get proper inspections. That was a big job for me because we had to do the tear out. And I felt so bad because it was all new flooring that they paid for. They didn't get a refund from the contract or anything, but they did the job wrong. Or I've had a couple deck jobs where clients would be like, oh, it's a little too out of my budget, a little too high priced. And I'd go back and just these contractors, they didn't use proper joists. So I'm like, these people are actually at risk of falling through.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that you'll see. I do it cheaper. That doesn't mean you do it better.
Right,
There's a difference between that. So like I say, I like to do, you pay for what you get.
Yep.
You want quality work, you got to pay quality pricing. That's just how it is. Evidently, and it's a nightmare that I've had to deal with. Going back to clients who are like, hey, it might have been a realistic price before. And I'm like, I understand. I don't blame you for trying to get a better price, but not everybody's going to do a better job.
Well, right. And it's funny, my house, true story, when we moved in, we bought it where it was a preacher.
Yeah.
And all the work that was done in there, you could tell a mile away that somebody from the church was like, don't worry, preacher, I got you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so now as I
one
have
of those duct tape
my God. So I'm like, why is my house not on fire right now?
Yeah.
So there's a lot
Nothing's
of
up to code.
No, nothing. Nothing. And so, I'm sure you come across that on top of whatever mold somebody else passed up. Here's a crazy question for you. Have you ever come across something where you had to stop because it was either lead or asbestos? And if so, are you licensed to abate?
Yeah, so we are. We do have all the licensing for that, but I do want to speak upon this. There was this one job that I just did a quote for it like probably about a month and a half ago. And I mean, it was clearly a rental, the owner's like, hey, I'm just trying to fix this thing up just so I could sell it. All right, sure. When I did the walkthrough, I mean, I saw the photos, but they didn't do it justice. There was just, mouse droppings everywhere. I mean, there was bites out of the plywood from something. I mean, I don't know if it was mice or other animals getting in.
It's a Rottweiler hidden up there.
Yeah, exactly. The entire basement was just filled with mold. I mean, all along, because the foundation walls were just leaking. I didn't even want to breathe down there.
Yeah.
So I mean, you'll get problems like that constantly. The kitchen just plywood drifting into the walls. I mean, it was just bowing.
Oh,
so yeah, you'll get those jobs where you kind of just want to walk away from. I think that the homeowner's still figuring out what exactly to do with it till this day. See, he might have been down a little bit of money, but
well, and for knowing you, it's always safety first for your team.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, we would have to have the guys going with masks, obviously, because you're dealing with a bunch of mold like that. It doesn't matter if it's in an attic, basement, wherever, bathroom. I mean, there's a lot of serious stuff you can come into.
Well, I've come across. I used to be in the unions for lead and asbestos, and that's a pretty cruel one. And you see some people cutting those corners without a full APR and a personal pump.
Oh yeah,
and they're just like they got a mask on, but they got a hole in it for a cigarette. I'm like, wow, that's kind of going against the grain there, isn't it?
I've worked with those kind of people before.
Yeah.
Back in my labor days.
And then what some people don't understand is if your house was built in a certain year, you still might have that. And so when you go to quote that, you don't really know what you're getting involved in. And so, people don't realize that, hey, this is the quote for that. You don't really know what you're getting into until you start pulling stuff apart.
It's exactly what I tell everybody. I can give you a generalized idea for a quote, and I'm not going to say, oh, it's this number and it's going to be 100% higher than that.
Right.
No, I'm just saying we don't know what we're getting into until we actually start tearing stuff apart.
Right.
I mean, I'll give you my best, and I'm transparent.
Yeah.
I always am. That's just something I like to be relatable to people, but being transparent is going to get you way further than saying, "Oh, you didn't tell me about this." Like acting like the customer knew.
Right. Why is the bill $1,200 more?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
you're acting like the customer knew what was behind the walls, or you pulled something up and you just didn't like it. That doesn't matter. I don't do that. I like to be transparent about things, but you're gonna run into those situations where you're like, okay, this is a bigger problem than we thought. So I mean, that's just what you got to do,
Yeah.
Something that's always going to be there. Every single job you do. I mean, some jobs might be smoother than others, but yeah. You said you worked in asbestos, right?
Yeah, lead and asbestos abatement. Now, mind you, I went to the school with the unions to do it. But I never got on a job to do it because I heard about all these rip and run situations where people were forced into. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna maybe work for the school.
Yeah.
So I took all their classes.
Exactly.
I was like first aid and everything else with it, confined space, stuff like that. Yeah. But it's bad news bears. Mesothelioma, asbestosis, and then lead. Lead's a horrible.
Yeah.
Can't even wash your clothes.
Well, I know paint used to be
lead.
With lead.
Oh yeah,
lead based. I mean, it's gotten, obviously there's compliance regulations now, and there's certain requirements.
I'll guarantee if you walk into an old house somewhere in Chicago and there are basements, it's going to be lead.
100%. Yeah.
Those are the basements that we say, hey, did you eat paint chips? Because growing up in the city, our basement was lead. And you just didn't know this.
A lot of the historic towns, even around here, I'm sure some of those homes still have.
Yeah, the vintage homes probably around the area.
Yeah. And again, a lot of these older homes, they're definitely out of code. So you might have those problems again in the walls. Doesn't matter what it is, even siding, windows, everything's out of date. And you're going to run into different issues with that too. But it's just what happens with older homes. I mean, everything, manufacturers are making new products all the time, and they're saying, okay, well, we got a 25-year warranty for this product. I mean, warranties are even getting bigger because they're trusting the products more.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean, product quality is getting better as time goes by.
The technology, especially
the durability of them, even color matching. I mean, you can color match old products so people are happy, but the new product's going to last, twice as long. Yeah. So you're going to pay an arm and a leg for it because it's quality, but that's just how it goes.
Well, and I'll tell you, listen, folks, go to his website here, and we're going to pop this up here. So that's c-renovations.com. Check out, there's some photos of your work in there.
Yeah.
Gorgeous, man. Beautiful stuff.
No,
all updated stuff. And probably should have you come to my wife's like, does he want to come over? I'm like, hold on a second. Obviously, because I can't do that kind of stuff. But check them out. Check out their website. It's pretty important. They definitely offer a 3-year workmanship guarantee. How does that work out?
So if, like, say, for example, something simple like, okay, deck board's loose, hand railing's loose, we'll come out and fix it. You know, if a product's damaged for whatever reason, obviously it depends on how it got damaged. But there's warranties for all the products that I have through my manufacturer, through my suppliers. So that's totally different, but we'll come out to replace the product, or if it's just something minuscule,
Gotcha.
We'll fix it.
So if you get like a crazy warped thing,
Yeah,
you'll
exactly.
zip it out, you'll replace it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's product replacement as well.
Yeah. Or the cabinet doors sagging.
Now, mind you, if I'm outside in my backyard with my deck, right, and I'm shooting the deck with my compound bow, we're not warranty.
Yeah, no,
that's pretty much it,
right.
right? So that's what he means by, folks. Depends on. Listen, if you have a dog that's chewing on your porch, stop it from chewing on your porch. You know, not everything is.
But like weather conditions, stuff like that. If it
natural.
Exactly. Something gets loose. It wasn't seated properly. Just little things. Yeah, we'll come out. So, no problem. And that's what every company should do. Some companies I've heard actually charge to come back out to do the work that they already did. I'm like, so you're charging somebody again because you might have had just a little hiccup in there. Yeah. I mean, no project's ever going to be 100% perfect. Do your best though, and that's what we always do. We care about quality. I mean, we really do. But a lot of companies I've heard charge to come back out for it. They're like, oh, well, we got a really busy schedule. Our guys installed it right. Like they're just automatically attacking the customer. I'm like, it's not the way you go. And I get these complaints from customers. I do. I get them from customers, and it's just it's a little bit unbelievable.
Well, as I'm rolling this across the bottom, I'm seeing up here. So gutters, right?
Yeah.
Gutters. So let me ask you, when it comes to windows, is there a specific product that you utilize, or is it a customer pick? Is it Pella? Is it Falco? Is it?
Am I allowed to say on here?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. So my preference, nothing against any of the other companies, but I love Pella. Pella is great. I got a certified Pella installer that works directly with my company. He's part of our crew. He is great. His name's Kurt. In case anybody ever wants me to use
shout out.
Yeah, shout out for Kurt. He is great. And then I have used Provia. They are great too, but Pella is pretty much my go-to. I've noticed when I have clients use Pella, they like how it looks the most. Windows you can customize with wood, composite, clad, metal. I mean, there's so many different styles you can do.
I heard they back their product pretty good too, especially in customer service.
They do, and insurance companies really like that because they know that it's going to last. So if you put it in, you shouldn't have problems. I mean, especially where we live. Yes, the weather does get mild, but it's not like we have constant hailstorms like down south or hurricanes. So Pella is my go-to product 100% when it comes to windows.
So tip of the trade for windows, if folks out there are looking to like, hey man, we're thinking about getting windows. Yeah. What is a good time to really start thinking about that? What type of season? Because you're not going to be out in the middle of winter.
Yeah, no. I would say start looking because people are always going to take at least a month to decide. Okay, hey, I'm looking at the product right now. A month from later, I might pull the trigger, and then it takes a couple weeks to order it. I'd say start looking at the end of February. You start looking at the end of February for windows. You should. I mean, springtime is always the best. Yeah. For windows, it really is, and there's the most deals that us as the general contractor are able to offer because our manufacturers are just trying to get it out there because again, it's the beginning of the season. They want to jumpstart, so it helps everybody out. It helps us, helps the client. So I'd say start looking at like middle to the end of February, get an idea about what you want, and as soon as it warms up, end of March, April. And that's a good time to pull the trigger.
What would be the red flags that you need new windows?
You see a lot of fog buildup, a lot of condensation, moisture breaking through the barrier. So if you got like a windowsill and you see moisture along there, whenever it gets cold, that's definitely a time the argon gas is gone, and you can tell because the windows are all fogged up. Yep. Definitely a time. Or if you see them, I've seen windows in older homes, they will slant in the sill. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
Kind of a free reaction.
It's kind of just like you eyeball it, it.
Yeah. These double pane windows, when you got that fog on the inside, it's usually broken seal of some kind, and If you're getting like nasty drafts,
Yeah, definitely.
you'll notice a huge difference, folks. If you
Heating bills too.
yeah, man, I mean,
Yeah,
listen,
you will.
you'll notice the difference in the temperature
Yeah.
of your house and how it holds your air conditioning as
Yeah.
well as your heat.
Well, you know what's also a really important thing too?
What's that?
A lot of homes, even if it's new construction, I've noticed this too. Their walls are not insulated in every part, so it'll be freezing in certain rooms, and then the next room over, it's going to be super super warm or humid.
Mm.
It's the insulation in the walls, not only just the ceiling around you, but it's the insulation in the walls. And I know a couple of guys who I've worked with who do that. They'll cut a hole in the drywall, insulate it from the top all the way to the bottom,
Really?
so it gets the whole wall filled. Yeah, it's great. They were actually at the home show too, but he's worked with me a couple of times, and they do great work. But that's a really important thing too, because yeah, you need like good windows, but insulation severely underrated.
Yeah, I would have to think
Yeah.
so. People don't think I'm not even thinking of insulation.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, insulation's a huge thing. I mean, especially in the winter, even the summer, because it regulates the house temperature.
Do you source out for insulation, or do you?
So we do it in house, but if it's something for like an attic, yeah, we source it out.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, we have our crew members. They do insulation because again, we do all kinds of carpentry work. So whether it's walls, drywall, insulation, painting, mudding, hang ceilings,
Yep.
drywall ceilings, whatever it is, we do that all in house. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow. So, and once again, guys, we have they offer a 3-year workmanship guarantee at c-renovations.com. Interesting fact, and just out of curiosity, if like I was going to buy this house, right, and it needed work,
Right.
You would be the guy to call before I bought the house. I said, hey, what would this really? Yeah, I ball it out and be like, is this worth me dumping X amount of dollars into? Right? Is that something you guys would do as well?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would come up because I like to build my clients' trust. I know that they'll use me in the future, so I'm not just like, oh, hey, you're using me to get a quote, and that's part of the job. You got to go out, you got to get quotes.
But if they buy the house,
yeah, exactly.
They got a quote,
then you got the deal. But I mean, I look at it like this: like, you're not going to get every deal.
Sure.
Go do quotes. Go meet new people.
You have to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's part of the job.
Yeah. So I mean, don't expect like, oh, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to get work from them. No, you just have to do it. It helps people trust you more. Even if you don't get their business, they might know somebody. They might refer you down the line. Hey, I don't have a use for this guy right now. I thought I did, but I know somebody who does. So I mean, it's honestly about who you know.
I love it. And listen, there's companies out there to where that is not the mindset.
Oh yeah.
That is, I won't touch that. I won't wake up for less than this much money.
Yep.
And
I've worked for those companies before.
Oh.
I'm just like, this is why I left. I learned what I had to learn, and it's good to know all the trades in a nutshell on how to do it. But I couldn't work for those companies. I mean, it doesn't matter if I was a sales rep or a laborer. I just didn't want to work for those companies because, again, once you have company morale like that, you start treating everybody like that. So it doesn't matter if it's your employees,
and it shows in your quality.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does. So
100%.
Yeah, that's why I say like we're a family-owned business. I do a lot of work with my fiance. I do a lot of work with my crews. My guy Fernando, like I said, I'll talk about him all day. This guy is just he works like a machine. I mean, he is awesome. He does most of the work for our company. So I mean, you just really have to have a good team. But family-owned businesses are really, I would say, what's going to give you the best result as a client or just in general. Again, we can do big jobs, we do small jobs, but I like to be that transparent guy.
Well, and that's the difference between you and that enterprise company, right? Everybody preaches shop local. I preach it, shop local. I shop on Amazon. I get it. But at the same time, these small businesses, you build those relationships. You're in like Flynn, and they try, and then next thing you know, there's a barter happening. Next thing you know, there's hey, why would they go outside of you to do anything? Really, if it's something that you already do.
Well, and recently that customer, I had a customer from that home show that I met, and he's like, I had a buddy that before I moved, I had a buddy that's like 2 hours away from me now, and he used to be our contractor. So he was looking for somebody that he could trust. It's not always just about money. How much is this guy going to be?
Yeah.
He cared about, well, one, quality, and he was very happy with the jobs that we just did for him. We did a couple things in his brand new home. Really awesome guy. But the thing is, you get clients like that, and they're happy about that they can trust you. And that's what I look for. I look for if people can trust me. I always like to work with people. Hey, do you have a budget? Let's figure out what your budget is, how we can tackle that, and I'll make something happen.
Okay.
But when people trust you, it takes you the rest of the way. Because if they don't trust you, then why are they going to trust me in their home?
That's your statement.
So if they're like, I don't trust you, but I need something done, it's not going to go well.
Yeah.
It's just not. So it always makes it easier for me, my guys, and of course them.
Well, and let's talk about that real quick because with a crew of 8, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen in that industry, in your space, is so damaging too. Is we're gonna go with ABC company, and they're gonna come in. They start this project, right? And then they get a bigger job, and then you're kind of left holding their tools and waiting for them. They keep making the calls. Hey, man, what about me? Oh, well, they're making money. Oh, I'll send Joey over.
Yeah,
but Joey, he has no idea. He doesn't even know how to use a measuring tape. Right. He's the cleanup guy, just to appease you.
Yeah, just doing all the wrong work.
Yeah. You guys are awesome with that. You guys, you come from start to finish,
all the time.
White glove courtesy service. Yeah. And listen, they leave the house just as clean as it was when you get there. Now, listen, if you're a slob, they're gonna probably leave it cleaner.
You'll be branded like that forever.
Right.
You can't.
Right.
You can't.
Magazine home.
Yeah,
I mean, the images the pictures I've seen that you do are magazine home.
Yeah.
It is really beautiful.
I try. Well, I ask a lot of them. I'm like, can I clean up the area, just move this stuff out, just for a good photo? Because I'm really proud of the work. And sometimes they'll put stuff back, because I'll go back the next day after it's all done, just for a visual. See how it's going, see how they're happy with it. Finish up the contract that we already wrote. But yeah, I mean, these you have to get good photos because clients got to see something that's going to be appealing to them. I mean, ultimately, you just got to make them happy. And again, with those bigger companies, they might start a job, and all the time I see this. This is very common. I'm not even trying to slander anybody here. I'm just trying to say it how it is. A lot of these bigger companies, they'll start a project and they'll go to another job the next day. And I've had these homeowners. I'm like, well, why didn't they do it 5 days in a row? Finish. Right. They couldn't tell me an answer because they don't know what's going on. They're relying on these other companies to come in, do the work, and get it done all at the same time. Not say, okay, I'm going to start over here and then I'm going to go 50 miles, east. Start on this job. It's just and
listen, when you spend that kind of money. You want it to look. You want it to be.
You also want service,
right?
You want service too.
What kind of goes hand in hand? I had a company come out. Did my siding. They were good. They did these each other. There was a couple questionable things, right? But one of the things that afterwards there was no walk around. Is that weird to you? Like it was during the middle of it.
They should do inspections.
And I was like, okay, so let's walk around. So I walked around with my father-in-law, who's a contractor, and he was like, I'm like, what do you see? Because he's seeing things that I wouldn't even look at. Yeah. he's like, well, check out all this caulking. And so it looked like a 2-year-old with a crayon. You know what I mean? And it was just, it was all like gobby and red. And so I called him and I had him come out and I had a look at him. Like, when your salesman showed me what the caulk lines would look like, it was it was professional finish. It was smooth. And I'm like, what is this? And so they're like, oh, well, that's probably because of it. There was some kind of excuse to it.
They just goofed it up.
I'm not looking for an excuse. I'm looking for it to get fixed.
Right. Some people will just glob it on.
Right. They don't
put
care.
It right on.
They want to get to the next job, right?
Yeah.
So and I'm sure it was a sub out.
Yeah. If it's sealed to them. They don't care.
Right.
It's clean.
Good enough.
Clean lines. Yeah.
Good enough.
Yeah, good enough.
Plus the fact that sawdust was inside the caulk.
Yeah.
Like mixed in. You know what I mean?
It's to them. It's good enough to get the check.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I learned that. And they were a pretty decent sized company, but they did okay.
And I'm not saying, I'm not saying that every job that everybody does is going to be perfect. Because there are a lot of good companies out there that actually do cater to their customers, that do care, that do quality work, that are cleaning up properly, not leaving stuff everywhere. But you're going to have those jobs that'll give them a bad reputation, and they could do 50 good jobs and one bad job. You're going to hear a lot more from that bad job than other jobs that they do good on. Evidently, that's just how it works.
Yeah. So just remember, folks, if you're cutting corners to cut the price down, you're probably going to get sleazy, and it's not Colaizzi.
Yeah.
So I would have to say, hey, listen, man, and we're running out of time, but I want to say thanks for coming out and talking about your business. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah. So you can reach out to me or look me up on Google, but you can reach out to me. My number is actually going to pop up soon. It's 630-804-9613, or take a look at our website. There's an inquiry box if you got any questions. That goes directly to my email, which is jcrenov@outlook.com.
Awesome. And then, folks, if you check below in the description, I'll have links to his website as well as his phone number in there. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything, man.
Awesome, Jake. Thanks for joining us here on Let's Talk Local.
Thank you very much, man.
Would love to have you on a follow-up in the next year to see how you guys are doing and anything else, and maybe a future show down the line, because I like the way you think.
Yeah, man. I'd love to do it.
So, yeah, folks, check it out. We appreciate all the support here with Let's Talk Local. It's local to your area. We go as far as we need to go for helping you promote you and gain awareness. Splash those local ponds. Don't be afraid to do it. Let's talk local. Listen.